All right, ladies and gentlemen, this morning we are going to hear it from the mouth of a victim. I need you to sit back and we'll experience this together right here on Label with Leo.
Get up, wake up my soul in the early morning. Wake up again, it's a new day. Wake up my soul, it's time to fly. Float on the winds and kiss the sky. The birds and flowers were made for you and me. I must be all I can be.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, well, that's what we're saying. We are getting into business today. Guess what? Today, the person on the technical side of things, the person running the show this morning is your girl, Akima. All right, your boy, Sydney, has some emergency to take care of, and he couldn't make it today, and your girl, Akima, is running the show red. That's what I'm talking about. All right, we, this morning is going to be a very interesting morning. Things just seem to be, twisting up and turning up. And, I believe anytime things not going according to plan, God always has a way of working out something better. All right. So we just have to trust him and let him do his thing. All right. But we're glad to see every single one of you on the session this morning. Those of you on Facebook, those of you on the YouTube platform, just want to give a little big up and a little hail out to my people here this morning. All right. I'm seeing Rosemary Rampersad Lazema on the chat. We got my girl Pontiana Bruno. Uncle Wayne, big up to you, Uncle Wayne. I'm so grateful that you're on the chat. Big up to you. Susan Top Rankin, all right, in the house. Florence Sturton, Corinne Brown, Lindiana Roberts, Joel Aki, Elizabeth Roberts Stewart, Margaret Roach, Jasmine Cotter, and my girl Connie Langine. We got Hendrickson, my man Hendrickson. You know when I call your name. All right, talk done. All right, let's go on. Now let me give a little more hail out. All right, Siobhan Clark, Yutzi Lynch, Elizabeth Durity, Ann Scorette, Suzette Trudy, Gita Maraj, big up to you, my girl. That's what I'm saying. Roseman Robertson, Charmaine Boyce, moms, good to see you. Sandra Stewart, Leslie Langine, Veronica Charles, Gail Archibald, Veronica Joseph, Joy Gishad, Alice Solomon, Shirley Alcantara, Natasha Critchlow. Guys, I just like to hail out the people just a little bit, but I can't go on hailing out forever and ever, right? But I just want to say big up to all of you. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you on this Wednesday morning. All right, but we're going on. I'm seeing on the YouTube platform Agnes John, Gaylan Boyer, Osei Sinette, Lisa Shallow, Carol Pascal, Auntie Carol. That's what I'm saying. Who else we got on the chat? Beulah Tate is in there as well. All right, guys. Nicholas back one day, and I'm big up my boy Nico, Jenny De Silva. All right, that's just those on the YouTube platform. All right, so we want to say blessed day to you. We are going to get into some serious stuff. This week we're getting into some real stuff because we want to try to put things out there that can help people. All right, as I said this morning, things will not go according to the way we planned it, but it is going to the way that God would allow it to go. All right, so things just happen and we just have to make the best of it and make things work along with God. All right, so let's get into some singing. I hope you're ready to pump. Hope you get to, Akima, you have something hot? All right, I hope you have your hot drink in Sydney, because I'm moving with the hot drink. You're the female Sydney this morning. All right. All right, good. Let's get into some music this morning, and we need to say thanks to God in form of song, all right? And build the vibe, lift the spirit as we go out there to do our stuff. Let's go. Oh Lord, you are my God. Come on. And I will ever praise you. Well, oh Lord, you are my God. And I will ever praise you. Well, I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways. And and step by step you lead me. Come on. And I will follow you all of my days. Well, oh Lord, you are my God. Oh, and I will ever praise you. Well, oh Lord, you are my God. Oh, and I will ever praise. Oh, yeah. And I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you lead me. Lord, I will follow you all of my, oh Lord, I will follow you all of my days, and I'll follow you all of my days, and step by step you lead me. Lord, I will follow you all of my days. That's what I'm talking about. Follow him all the days of your life. All right. I love dropping this song because I just don't know what you're dealing with, and I don't know where you came from, what you've been dealing with in the past. All right, but I know that with the Lord on your side, you will have that joy coming from within. And I know even if you're going through some rough time, listen to this one. I know you still got joy. Come on. You still got joy after all the things you've been through. You still got joy. Sing it with me. Come on. Still got joy. Well, still got joy after all the things you've been through. You still got joy. Oh, joy. Still got joy. Come on. Still got joy after all the things we've been through. We still got joy. Sing joy. Still got joy. Well, still got joy after all the things we've been through. We still got joy after all the things you've been through. I know you still got joy. You know why? God has, come on, smiled on me. Well, he has set me free. Come on, singing, God has smiled on me, and he's been good to me. Sing it again. God has, he has smiled on me. I know he has set me free. Come on, keep singing. God has smiled on me, and he's been good to me. And when the dark clouds, it has rolled away, and sunshine down on me. Come on, sing it with me. Oh, dark clouds, it rolled away, and sunshine down on me. Amazing grace, amazing grace. How sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. Yeah, I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Sing it one more time. God has, he has smiled on me. I know that he has set me free. Come on, sing it. God has, yeah, smiled on me. I know he's been good to me, and he's been good to me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. All right, let's get some more songs on the way. We'll sing this one. Hosanna, Hosanna, come on, Hosanna in the highest. Well, Hosanna, Hosanna, come on, Hosanna in the highest. Sing it, Kima. Lord, we lift up your name. Come on, oh, with a heart filled with praise. praise. Be exalted, O Lord my God. Come on. Hosanna in the highest. Oh, we're giving him glory. Sing low. Hey, keep singing glory to the King of Kings. Come on and give him glory. Come on. Well, glory, singing glory to the King of Kings. Oh, keep singing, Lord. We lift up your name, sing with our hearts filled with praise. So be exalted, O Lord my God. Yeah, Hosanna in the highest. All right, Akima, I find your song. I think you should put on your mic, man. Put on your mic. Come on, man, put on your mic. Let the people hear you sing now, man. Come on, man. All right, guys. Let's sing one more song, and then we'll be getting into the meat of the matter for the morning. All right, we got something really interesting for you this morning. We have a guest coming on who would be speaking from her experience, a victim of violence, all right? And we'll be hearing it straight from the mouth of a victim this morning as we continue to look at violence against women, protecting our women and our men. And as I said before, when you protect the women from violence, you protect the men from imprisonment in that area of things. All right, so let's go on. We'll sing one more song, and then we'll have our guests coming on this morning. All right, let's go. I'm gonna sing, let's sing. I'm gonna sing, I'm pulling you out, come on. Let's sing, because we love the Lord. We love the Lord. Let me sing. I'm gonna sing, let's sing. I'm gonna sing, let's sing, because we love the Lord. We love the Lord. Ready? I'm going to sing his praise. Sing. I'm going. You put on your mic. Come on. Let's sing. Because we love. She's still putting on that mic, boy. Oh, we love the Lord. Well, I'm going to sing. Let's sing. I'm going to sing. Let's sing. Because we love the Lord. We love the Lord. Come on. Hey, I'm gonna bow. Let's bow before him. Bow. Let's bow. Because we love the Lord. Let's get back to singing his praises. Well, I'm gonna sing. You sing your part. Come on. Well, I'm gonna sing. Let's sing. Oh, because we love the Lord. One more time. Sing, sing, sing. I'm gonna sing. Well, let's sing. Well, let's sing. Oh, let's sing. Well, because we love the Lord. Oh, we love the Lord. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, what we got for you this morning is a woman who has been a victim of intimate partner violence. All right, she has been a victim, and she's coming to share of her experience with us, because this thing is real. This thing is real, and if we don't pay attention to it, if we don't act now, then it will become, as we may just call it, a pandemic. It is already a pandemic. It is happening all over the world, and as a matter of fact, it is one that, you know, if we are not paying attention to it, and if we don't come out and speak out about it and do something about it, it is going to destroy the women. It is going to undermine and destroy our women throughout society. We have to act, we have to step out, and we have to do what we need to at this time. All right, so we're going to be bringing on our guest. She hails all the way from the UK at this time, and we want to bring on our guest this morning. She is our girl, Laverne Davies. That's what we're talking about. All right, Laverne Davies, how are you doing this morning? All right, All right, you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear
All
you.
right, I'm hearing you now. Okay, good. All right, well, how you doing this morning? You look beautiful this morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning to everyone on Facebook this morning.
All
Thank you
right.
for having me.
All right, all right. Wow, it's such a pleasure to have you. I mean, you're a brave woman. I admire you for that. You know, you always you always share your experiences, and it is experiences that can really help people. Really give information so that people can be more aware, women can be more aware, and I just want to commend you for doing just that, sharing a part of your life, sharing pieces of your life to be able to change the world and make the world a better place. All right. All right. So, well, as we go on, how you felt? How you felt? I mean, I know you came on and you shared some stuff before, but how you felt? When you were asked to come on and talk about this in particular. We know this is an issue that is plaguing the world. All right. Anywhere in the world, you can go and find issues pertaining to violence against women. All right. It is totally plaguing the world. And how you felt coming to deal with that? I know some women are a bit emotional about it, just thinking about all of the things that women are going through in particular. But what you thought about it? How you felt about it?
Well, I've gotten away from the emotional side, so
Right.
I don't get emotional about talking about it. I get passionate, but the emotional side is definitely going because through the journey you learn in my life now that those things happen for me to use them now.
Right.
So I don't make no emotional connection with most things, but very passionate when I talk about it. Yes.
Right. Right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, we're going to get into some stuff into your life. You're going to be sharing some stuff, and I really hope that we are prepared to hear this. This is also supposed to be an encouragement, a way for you women, those of you who are being involved, you're victims of whatever violence it is, whether it may be stuff like non-partner violence or interpersonal violence, whatever it is time for you to come out and speak out as well. All right, because the silence, I know sometimes women are being intimidated and so on, but come out, speak out, and let's get this thing worked on. All right, well guys, this is what I want to do for you this morning. I'm going to be opening the lines at this point, and what you can do is call in, and you too can pose your question to Laverne Davies. All right, you can ask questions about it. You don't have to say whether you're a part of it, whether you're a victim or not. You can call in and you can ask questions, ask how she dealt with it, ask how she coped with it. You can call in and ask your questions, or you can call in and make your contribution about violence against women in this world today. All right, so the number is 267-3564. That is 267-3564, and you too can be able to connect and converse with our guest here this morning. All right, well, so as we move on, we want to start with you as an individual. Did you ever thought in your lifetime, I don't know what you would have experienced growing up as a little girl, what you would have been experienced seeing with your parents or in society, but did you ever expect to be a victim of violence by a partner in your life?
No, I didn't really know what abuse was. And at the young age, I didn't really know what that was, and that started. That journey started when I went with one of my first relationships, and I ended up marrying that person. And you just, he said he's sorry, and you just take that,
Right.
So I didn't really know too much, but it was probably about maybe 20 when I first started to get slapped around a bit for talking to another guy. Like he would just come home and slap me across the room because someone said I was over the street just talking to another guy. So I thought that I wasn't supposed to do that. So, but that comes from a lot of the insecurity that you already have. That comes from, you already felt unworthy, unsecured. So you just feel that, at least he loves me.
Yeah.
Because you never felt loved as a child. You never felt loved coming up. So at least he loves me, at least he's here. So, so that started very, very, in that young age. But sometimes what happens is that when you come up about your father, I didn't know who my father was for a long time.
Right.
You see so many different things. Molested at 7, and so you look at these things and you just say, okay, well, at least I have somebody. So that's just how I felt at that time. So I did and end up marrying him.
Wow. So were you experiencing abuse before you married him? Before you guys got married?
No, I didn't have a very my childhood I can remember back until I was 7 because my aunt looked after me a great deal. But I can remember, just seeing a lot of different men, but never seeing abuse. Like I never saw my mama get abused. I never saw that. She didn't marry my father, but I didn't see that. And if it was, then it happened, but I didn't see it.
Right.
So I never saw anybody hit in the family. I didn't see that.
Wow. So was it the best time of your life? Was it the best person? Was he the best person before marriage?
Yeah, to me, yes, because you don't feel like anybody's into you. He was into me, like he was into me. He took me everywhere he did, even sitting on the streets while he was selling drugs. I was there. I sat with him, and we lived in a house where people used to come and buy the drugs. I was there. I was, when you look at it now, I was this. I remember him making a comment once, is that I'm like the model girl. I didn't go with guys. I didn't drink. I never smoked weed. I never took drugs. So I was like his trophy. I was everything that he probably wanted in a woman.
Right.
Right. And so that became, I didn't look at that as being controlled. I look at that he wanted me. No, wasn't that he wasn't out there still having affairs, because he was.
Right.
So, I just said, at least he wants me, at least it's somebody. I never could remember ever being told that I was loved.
Right.
I never was told that. My mom didn't have that, I love you. She worked, she took care of, she went up, but never, I love you or hugs. I never felt none of that. Never got that. So he gave me that. And it was a feeling that you just never, he's like, wow.
And making the connection from yesterday, because I know you told me you were looking at the show yesterday. Making the connection from yesterday, you believe that you would have responded like that because you didn't grow up with a father figure to know what love is and to know how a man is supposed to treat a woman.
Yeah, I could say yes. I always wanted to know my father. I was craved for that. So yeah, I can truly say that. My mom didn't have that. My mom had 4 children and was just trying to work day and night, and so you that's what it was. And so as you got into a teenager, you start to feel things like somebody saying they love you, somebody's hugging you. Yeah. I left home at 16. Out on the street with him. He was my life at that moment. Yeah. It's easy for people to make comments about what they think that somebody should do that's an abuse. It's easy to say get out. But if you've never walked in those shoes,
right,
you really cannot have an understanding. And if you don't have a person that's on your side that's not always giving you their opinion or what you should do, but actually listening to you sometimes. Because of course for me it got worse, over the years, because I ended up marrying him, and I could say I had 2 people that kind of never left me, even though they knew the struggle, so we have to really, really be careful when we're telling women what they need to do, and it goes back to, like Michael said, it has to be some training that comes up, not with men but with women too.
Yeah,
we have to know that. And so I had to learn that. I didn't have nobody tell me that. When I got married, I can remember the day of the wedding, all of a sudden I didn't want to get married. Like that day, And my mama was saying, you're not going through this, you better, you know. And so we got married on the Saturday, and on the Wednesday, didn't come home all night. I don't even know what a honeymoon is. Don't even go there. I didn't come home all night. And so from that day on, every weekend, he stayed out. He came home on Mondays. When I made a comment, you got slapped. You know, don't, you know, no. You know, he said, no, I'm married, you know. So, you know.
So do you feel that, do you ever had the feeling that, okay, you know, maybe I did something wrong, maybe I'm not supposed to do that, and he would stop, you know, maybe later on he would stop, you know, do you ever had that feeling?
Yes. Because I looked at, you see this side of this person that was so loving and affectionate, and so you hold on to that. So it's almost, you may not understand, but it's almost like your child. You got a child that does something really horrible, and you're just so devastated, but you know that child's got good habits.
Right.
So you go there and you nurture that child and say, you know, so it's almost like that. So you look at him and you say, wow, I know he's got these good habits. I know that he's loving to me. So maybe I didn't fix right, because he would tell me that I couldn't cook right. He would tell me that I couldn't have sex right. So you think that was all of you.
Right.
So yeah, I did. Absolutely.
Wow.
I didn't feel very worthy of, and I already had the insecurity because I already brought that into the marriage.
Right.
I already had that. So I already came with my baggage. So, and he had his baggage. A train wreck waiting to happen.
And it's just amazing, because you're saying something that is really powerful. Amid all the things that you would go through, all the violence that you would experience, you're still holding on to that good thing that you've been seeing. Okay, he's a good person, you know, he used to treat me this way before we got married, and know he can still do this, you know. Have you ever thought that maybe it was just all pretense?
No, I took a long time before I thought that. I literally, when I got to the point of thinking like that, is probably I was married probably a year and a half, and it was when he left for me to go on a trip.
Right.
And found out in the end he went on a trip with a woman, so he left me pregnant. And I can remember my grandmother coming to visit me, and she's the one I was just telling her that, you know, I love so and so, blah blah this, and she's saying, she just said, all she said to me is, would you take a Bible study? And I did. And I can remember how I felt after I got baptized. And I think that's when my eyes started to open. Like it took right after till I got baptized, and I just started to pray to God, like, I don't know if I could do this, because he wasn't coming home, and then he was, you know, he was into drugs. And I remember that the one night I was praying, I just asked God, just, you know, because he didn't come in for the weekend. And this was right about a month after I became a Christian. And he came home that morning. And he came home and come see him like normal, took my son to school, and an hour later he comes back and it's the police. So the police came to watch the house because they caught him on the street. Searched my daughter, she was 3 months, you know, searched her pampers, searched the house. That's when reality started to hit him for me. And I was like, oh my dear Lord, I just cried and cried, but I still did not leave. And so when I realized he had been caught, that meant that he had to get off of drugs, because now he's on harder drugs.
Right.
So I decided to ask I didn't have very much education, right? So I didn't know how to read or write properly. Couldn't work. I didn't have the type of job. I'd have a job that's like a little waitress. So I didn't make any money. So you didn't have, you know, my mama or family on your side. So you don't want to go talk to them, because they was, you know, my mom used to say, well, you married him, you stay with him.
Yeah.
You know? So I said, you know, I'm going to help this man. This is my children's father. I didn't come up with a father. and I wanted my children to have their father. He was my children's father. So I just had that family thing in mind that I have to. So what I did, I helped him to get off of drugs. I stayed in the house day and night with him. My neighbor took my children and I stayed there. I had to drag him across the floor, had to help him use the bathroom because he was cold turkey and I was trying to get him off of drugs because now he's got to go to court, he's in trouble. But it took me through all of that. And then I got him through, got cleaned up. I made fish broth, wrapping him up when he was freezing, hurling him to help him to use the bathroom, all of that. Got him straight. 6 weeks later, I came home one day and he was up there shooting up drugs again. So that is how I walked away.
Whoa.
Now I walked away, but I still didn't leave him.
Right.
I got in the house, took my children out of the house. Still tried to be the type of wife. Even when he went to prison, went to see him every Sunday. And that went on for 3 years.
Wow.
Until reality started to hit him, because while he was in prison, he got caught with drugs in prison. Divorced him one time after that. So that's how I got to that point.
And you made mention of your mom telling you it's your husband to go back with him.
Married. She said you married him, stay with him. So I didn't have an outlet. You don't have no outlet to go.
So what's that about? Why
But that's the old way. But come on, that's the old way. Way back in the years, most parents just stayed. I hear so many times when I go on certain platforms or listen to certain people, I heard one lady saying, she watched her mom go through so much with her dad. And this woman's a judge and she knew, she saw it, but her mom just stayed strong and she stayed with him. Because most older people say they want to keep the family together.
Right.
So I don't look at it as a resentment for what she said. It probably wasn't the best thing to say, but I don't feel that against her for saying it, because at that time, I think maybe not every older person, but there's a lot of them that stay in these marriages to say family, or what they say, I would leave when the children grow up. They totally say that. You hear that, you see that in all the type of courses I'm talking and stuff, you hear that, and so for me, I thought like that. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to have my children to have a father and a mother. I wanted that. That was a passion for me.
Wow.
And sometimes that passion blinds you from what you're going through.
Yeah.
But when that happened with the police constantly, it wasn't one time come to yours. I just said, I cannot allow my children to go through this anymore. I cannot do this. So I left it.
Was your mom the only person that told you to go back to your husband when you reached out for help?
Well, no, not really. Nobody never really made comments. Like most people's comments was like, you leave. I think back in the early 80s, late 70s, I think most times you never heard nobody really talk about this.
Right.
You didn't hear that.
Right.
When you say, Mom, I want to leave. But look, you married him, you stay there. And so you just heard that. So you don't hear people comment. So when I used to talk about it, you got like, deafer. Almost like sexual abuse. Like when you want to talk about it in those times, people didn't want to hear that. People didn't want to hear me.
Right.
They didn't want to hear me. So you didn't. So I had like 1 or 2 girlfriends that were there, and they would just, they didn't ever say to me, leave. They just say they don't know how you could do it. So you didn't have people at that time telling you. And I can remember even speaking to 2 people that were Christians, and at that time they said, look, if you leave, you're not gonna you don't know if you can marry again.
Right.
And so Christianity became real important to me at the beginning. So I was like, I only had God. That's what I used to think, And so you start to think that, like, should I leave if I can't get nobody? And then he would tell me that, ain't nobody gonna warn you. I'll beat you up, that nobody ain't gonna want to look at you. And so now you've got these confusions, like you don't know if you should go to the church. And then church people looked at him, and this is the key. They looked at him as this great person. So now what are you telling people? Because people totally don't believe us.
Right.
So there comes a time that you feel alone. You feel like, okay, He's nice to my family, he's nice to the church, and nobody's really look like he don't look like he does that. So it's a very complicated, it's a very hard thing when you find yourself in that. It really is. So I just feel if anybody sees that happening, or any type of aggressive, even if it don't even have to be physical, it could be emotional or verbally. They don't need to go down that road. They need to, work on that, or look at that, or do some research on it or something, because once you're in, it's not easy. Everybody's different. What I did, somebody else can do.
Right.
That's the reason why I used my story and I held people's hand. Aaron had to hold Moses' arm up. I held the hand because people are not, it's not easy. And we have so much opinions and so much stuff. People come up and tell you what you think you should do, what you should do. But if you haven't walked in somebody's shoes, be careful what you say.
Wow. I mean, I'm just looking in the chat, and everybody just seemed to be saying that you're a strong woman, and indeed you are. But I have a question here. God is the best psychologist, healer. But my question is, did you ever receive therapy for the abuse?
Years later.
Right.
When I can remember, probably when I was about 27, 28, I think I had already divorced him. And I didn't tell nobody else divorced him. I just divorced him. And when he tried to stop the divorce, I threatened him with all the information and how he brings drugs in. So he signed the papers. So that's how I got out of the divorce.
Right.
I remember going, looking for a counselor. I remember I asked my doctor for a counselor. And basically, I wanted a counselor, a psychiatrist, because I wanted somebody. I was having difficulty with, like, the family. My family, we were not like that close family. You had a lot of talk in the family. You had a lot of marriage problems going on. And his family were never supportive. His family did not treat me like a daughter-in-law. It was just not like that.
Right.
I was pregnant the same time one of his women were pregnant. So I had my son, that person had their son October. I had my son December. We went to ended up being in the same doctor's office. So I asked my doctor, and I had a relationship, and he said, you want to go see a psychiatrist? I said, yes. I don't want to be like my family. I don't want to be like, this. I have to be able to show my son love. I have to be able to hug him. I have to be able to, I didn't know how to do those things. And when I went to the psychiatrist, I can remember them saying to me, you don't need a psychiatrist. You just need somebody to tell you that what you're doing is okay. But
Right.
Of course, I believed the psychiatrist. So I went to another one because I think it's me. I thought it was me. So yes, I did take up some counseling. And I also did a lot of research for myself, because you didn't have anybody else to talk to.
Right.
It was not like it is now. The resources is so much powerful now. It was nothing like that before.
Someone else sent in a question for you. Do the scars ever heal physically, mentally, psychologically?
Yeah, they do heal. For me, when you use it to glorify God, when you use it to help others, if you just sit in the moment and live in secret, it's really not going to do any good, because it just festers with you. So I'm going to tell you my story, and then I'm going to give it to you. So I'm taking it off me when I help somebody else. So I don't feel that God allows us to go through these things to sit. So when you sit in there, you start living on the shoulder, the quarter, the water. It is what it is. God does not like that. He doesn't agree with that. But remember, God likes to use broken people. So if you take your experiences and make them into something, you heal. So for me, that's what healed me. I was emotionally, verbally, and physically abused, the whole three. And so for me, degraded, I was humiliated. And I could say this, right up into my 50s. I'm 68, right up into my early 50s. I left one relationship and went on another one. And the next one wasn't physically, but it was emotional abuse. And that was just as bad. And I had to really pull myself back and start to look at my life and say, you know what, this person's doing this stuff and it's no different. And I had to, and that's what brought me back to the church 22 years ago, because now I'm going through emotional abuse.
Wow. We have a caller. We have a call coming in here. Hello, good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning? Hello, good morning. Just now. Hello, good morning. Try the next one. Next. Hello, good morning. All right, I'm hearing now. Okay, good. I'm hearing you now. Yeah. How you doing?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning
Hi.
to you.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi. I just wanted to give a perspective from being abused within a marriage in the church. You know, a lot of the times we tend to want the family and want the marriage and so on, and sometimes we tend to idolize the marriage and try to stick out the abuse, to try to we actually get consumed in focusing on getting healing for the abuser.
Right.
And in doing that, we tend to neglect ourselves in terms of our own healing and in terms of our own spiritual growth and so on. And we put the marriage on a pedestal and neglect ourselves, neglect our relationship with God. And one of the things I've learned is that we tend to first deny, spiritualize, rationalize, and say that maybe it's something we are doing, you know, and try to figure out what we can do better to improve the situation and stuff. But at the end of the day, it's up to the individual to want to change.
Right.
And yes, and I just want to see it to, you know, young persons, when you're getting into a relationship, take your time, get to know the person. A lot of the times when things seem too quick, like you fall in love so quickly, things tend to go downhill after the dust settles. You know, take your time, get to know an individual. Take its time, and the most important thing is to get to know yourself, get to know who you are, be firm, and have standards for who you are as an individual. Another thing too is the healing process after the abuse. It's very important. Sometimes I'm speaking from a woman perspective.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get out of a relationship with an abuser, and to jump into another relationship quickly just to get like an escape from the situation that you are in, and you tend to go for somebody who's similar to the person that you were with before. So it's important for women to take time to heal and get to know themselves, get over those traumatic experiences. Because if you don't take time to heal, you'll be no good for yourself, you'll be no good for your children, you'll be no good for a relationship. It would just be a cycle of, they call it trauma bonding. It would just be a cycle of trauma bonding, and it just will be toxic. So it's important to take time to heal.
Wow.
I wouldn't tell you who I am, but I have been because you know me, I have been a victim at one point in time. I say I'm a survivor. However, some of the things actually still is constant in terms of the hurt and the stresses, that the post-traumatic stress, it's there still sometimes. You know, it takes a long while for you to actually heal from it.
Right.
Especially when you have been abused emotionally as well. I think that's even more worse than physical abuse.
Right.
Physical abuse, the process it takes, your skin will heal and so on. That emotional abuse digs deep into your soul.
Right. Wow.
Right.
Wow.
Have a wonderful day. I hope my contribution would help someone.
It was amazing. It was amazing. Great contribution. Thank you so much for sharing your experience. That is okay. You can remain anonymous. We are encouraging anonymity when you call in because we know it can be difficult to put your name out there. So that's okay. This was really great, and it will go a long way.
You'll read my book. You'll read my book someday.
Surely, I will. Surely, I will. All right. Thank you so much, caller. Take care. All right. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this was truly amazing, Sister Laverne. Wow, we have a lot of women out there going through those things every single day, but not everyone has the strength to walk out of it. You know,
because we're all different. We're all different. But
Yeah.
one thing she's right about the physical and the emotional, because for me, you have to stay in front of it. I am so grateful that I am a Christian, because the emotional side, you could start feeling the unworthiness, or you start feeling, you start thinking about if anybody else can want me or
Right.
whatever. So
Yeah.
and that emotion, that verbally and emotional side, those things stay in your mind. Just like a child, if you're called a child stupid, if you tell a child they ain't amount to anything, it's the same thing as that verbal abuse, and that can have effect. So for me, I stay in front of it. I don't allow it to get in front of me. I know my trigger points. I know the days that I have to do the self-care, and she's right. You have to do it. You have to continue on self-caring for yourself, staying in the word. I stay active on a lot of platforms. People call me to speak about my experiences. I go on to educate myself. I listen to other people. I listen to counselors or other psychologists. I stay in contact with people, but that keeps me going. That's where my healing has come from.
Wow.
But everybody's differently then that's why we need each other.
Yes, I believe you. And you mentioned the unworthiness, the feeling of unworthiness.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about that next, because how did you handle things? How did you see yourself first of all, and how did you walk out of it? Were you totally crashed? Did you see yourself as not good enough? Were you totally out of confidence altogether? And how did you raise up out of that situation, that mindset? Before you touch on that, let's take this call. Let's take this call, because we know this would get into something there. All right, let's take this call here. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning? How are you doing, Pontiana?
Okay, what is that? Okay, this is a topic. This is very crucial. However, there are certain things that happen in certain relationships. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I'm hearing you.
Okay. As a matter of fact, I was the one who was taken before the court by my husband, saying that I caught his girlfriend. But the day when the policeman brought the thing to me, I said, listen, I tell him I'm not taking anything from my husband. You go get him, give him his own paper. So I remembered, I said, anyhow, Lord, you are the best judge, you are the best magistrate, and you are the best lawyer. I will stand that aside, and I will watch you perform. And when we went to the court, the magistrate had the case dismissed, because he asked me what I had to say. So I said to him what I had to say. I explained the situation. He said the case is dismissed. And that's the reason that I am very, very particular how I live. And I am careful with things I say.
Right.
And the things I go. So God is real. And a lot of things happen in life. And it's just for our learning. And we just have to take courage. And be faithful to Him always, as He will carry us through.
Wow.
Now my children are grown. And look, I'm right over here. So things happen for a reason that we can become stronger and live on.
Wow.
Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you so much. Wow. Oh boy. So we have people calling in and sharing a little bit of their stories. All right. You can remain anonymous if you wish to, and you can share what you have experienced, so that people can be able to learn from it and be aware, especially the young ladies out there and the young men. Take note. We have to respect and cherish our women. All right. So be careful how you treat them. We have a next call coming in here. Let's take this one. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks. This is Wayne calling in.
That's what I'm talking about. What's happening, my man?
Oh, I'm fine, thanks, and I love your show as usual. This is such a beneficial show for Christians and non-Christians and everybody alike.
Man.
I just wanted to give my contribution, my 2 cents on the topic.
Yeah.
And so, as most of you know, I've been a preacher, and I also have worked outside of the church circles. So I think that has given me an exposure to people, a lot of people. And I have worked with people on the outside who are victims and who have contributed to their violence against women. And I just want to say, I have noticed after coming to America, leaving Trinidad, and being away from the situation, it gave me time to look back on things in a way that it wouldn't have happened if I was still there.
Right.
And what I've realized as I look back on my experiences in Trinidad, there's a lot of violence against women that's connected to alcohol.
Okay.
And the easy availability of alcohol. I cannot tell you how many homes I have experienced where women were beaten up by a drunk husband or a drunk father. There were situations where neighbors have to run across to the home, across the street, to save some women who've been beaten upon by a drunk husband or a drunk father. It is a serious problem in the Caribbean where you can easily buy rum, you can easily buy alcohol in the shop around the corner.
Right.
And we all know that alcohol impairs your judgment.
Yeah.
And so this man naturally, and when he's not drunk, may be a nice person. But some people, when they get drunk, a demon comes out. and women have been abused sexually, physically in the Caribbean for years. And what compounds the problem is when they call the police. Many times the police don't want to get involved because they say, well, we don't get involved in marriage. We don't get involved in family matters. So they wait until somebody is beaten up dead, and then they get involved.
Wow.
And so that contributes to the problem of women being beaten up and taken advantage of by drunk men.
Right.
We got to do something in the Caribbean about that. We got to have more support for the women who are in a situation like that. And then we got to find ways where men can either get some more counseling who have a problem with alcohol, or have more restrictions on the purchase of alcohol. It is a serious item. I worked with guys, I worked in the refinery for a while. I work with guys who beaten up on their wives, and they think it is their duty to beat on their wives. I mean, they're actually guys who think, because I married this woman, she belongs to me.
Right.
And I am entitled to every now and again to hit her if she falls out of line. So that's another dimension there where men need to be educated about what it means to be a husband.
Right.
There's one more thing I want to say before I close. I have been blessed to do a psychology degree. I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. And there's something that I learned in psychology called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness. I want to talk a little bit about that because it impacts women who are abused.
Right.
They did some psychological experiments on a dog. They put a dog inside a cage where the bar was very low, and they applied some shocks to the cage. The dog jumped out. Okay, they took that further. They now completely enclosed the cage where the dog is inside the cage, and they begin to shock the dog. Now the dog cannot escape, and they keep continuing to shock the dog where the dog cannot escape. Then they decided, well, let's lower the bar a little bit on the sides of the cage, and they shock the dog. And he'll try to jump out, and he realizes he can't jump out until after a while the dog we realize he can't escape, and he'll just stay in the corner. They keep lowering the sides of the cage and keep shocking the dog.
Right.
Eventually, that dog realized he cannot escape. So what he did, he just went and lie down in the corner and take the shocks.
Mm-hmm.
The dog is learned helplessness.
Wow.
Believe it or not, they lowered the size of the cage completely till the dog now can run right out if he wants. And they continue to shock the dog now. And that dog will remain right in the corner and cower.
Wow.
That's right.
Take all the shocks, even though the cage now is completely free. It's called learned helplessness. When somebody has been in a situation for a very long time, a situation that they cannot escape for a very long time, they learn something called learned helplessness, where they think they can't escape, and even though they get their freedom, they will just behave like they're still entrapped in that situation. And it happens to women who have been abused for a long time. It happens to people who have been enslaved. That's another story. Yeah. So black people who were enslaved in slavery for a very long time, they also learned that. But that's for another day. Yeah. But anybody who has been in a situation where they were abused for a very long time learn this thing called learned helplessness. And so women sometimes, and men or whoever, children, will have to be counseled sometimes to learn how to empower themselves to come out of that. So I just wanted to contribute that this morning. We got to change this easy availability of alcohol. It really contributes significantly to the violence against women.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your contribution. It was well accepted. We really appreciate it. Wow. That's a lot.
Welcome.
That's a lot. Great information. All right. Take care.
God bless.
Wow. This is, we have a lot of stuff coming out here. Learn helplessness. That is truly amazing.
It's true, but it's right. It's absolutely right.
Wow. We have a next call coming in here. Let's take this one. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
Morning, Leo. Morning, my good sister.
Hey, good morning to you.
Yes. Sister Laverne, I want to really commend you for being so brave and forthright in coming out. Let me just ask two questions of Sister Laverne. Number one is, what advice does she have for other women who might be going through some struggles, even within the church? Their wives married to preachers, married to leaders, or even not even married to anybody who leads in the church, but who is in the church and going through struggles. What is her advice to them? The second one I want to ask Sister Laverne is, what advice do you have to leaders of the church to help to table, to get rid of and to eradicate, as far as our contribution as leaders in the church, to eradicate violence against women within the church?
Okay, let me remember number one.
All right. And what advice you have to women that are married to preachers and leaders of the church? All right, thanks a lot, caller.
First of all, well, for me personally, I had a conversation on another platform this week that asked the same question. They need to seek help. Some women, I think the last platform I talked to, they were saying that they felt that they couldn't find the counselors or the way that they want in the church. I say this, and this is just me. If you need construction on your house, and you need to get the person that does construction, not all the times you can get someone that's a Christian that's gonna come and fix it.
Right.
If you read the morning paper, you can take out what you need. So I feel that if you cannot find or not comfortable with the type of counselor or the type of stuff that you get, which is in the congregation, do not be afraid, because counselors are not allowed to talk about the Bible.
Right.
So what they're gonna do is give you what you need.
Right.
So go take what you need. I think that's self-care for yourself. You got to look out for yourself first and get someone to give you some tools to work with. So that's really what they need to do. And if you do, and then sometimes you can find eldership or brothers in the church that you can talk to that may have been from some experience. So you have to really find your way. The key for me is pray. Ask God for guidance. Ask God to give you what you need. And those that are not Christians, then they need to find the right type of counsel that can help them.
Wow.
You know, they really do.
And what advice do you have for the leaders, the men in the church that stands and leads?
Well, men need to pay attention. Even when it comes to seniors, you got to know when your wife changes. Men are got to keep updating themselves. I think sometimes we're not talking to the young men in the church, we're talking to them about, the other leading things in the congregation. But we need to talk to them about women, like Michael said. We need to educate, and some of these men may not have that at home. So then I think leadership has got a responsibility to mentor young men and guide them in how to respect a woman and how to take her things. I think, and then the above leaders, well, I don't know. I just think that you definitely need men, and Brother Wayne said it well. Men got to educate ourselves in the church and not just out, but men have to do that. I really, what I missed in coming up through my experience, that there was no classes you could go to.
Right.
If you go to a ladies class, they have it structured. Let's talk about this topic in the latest Bible class, and we stay to that topic.
Right.
So you're sitting there. For me, this was me now when I was going. You sit there and you're saying, okay, well, I don't need to talk about my experience, because they're talking about this good lady and how she did for God. They're talking about Dorcas and what she did. So you're not picking some of these women that had some struggles in the Bible. So then I look for people in the Bible that help me to be able to relate to my life.
Right.
And so we need to have some practical things, even in ladies class, even for young men classes, some practical stuff. And so women can be able to pour out. Women are not comfortable bringing up these in a class, because we're all walking in like, what's so righteous? And that's Brother Wayne said, you see some of these marriages they put up there on these little pedestals, like we come in and we're dressed all nice and we're doing nice and we're making church every Sunday, but sometimes we need to share something, but people are not comfortable to share because we stay in this little comfort zone. And Brother Wayne's wife, because I remember in Trinidad, I had there was a young lady that I was mentoring a little bit, and I remember her words when we were talking. I was saying something, we were talking about life issues, a few of we girls. And one of the things she said, that she was taught that you don't be talking your stuff to this type of stuff in a class. So you got people that are trained like that. So you're not opening up, you know what I mean? So they have to have a space. Women have got to have a space where we can be able to feel comfortable. But if we don't relate, if we're not going to share our experiences, it's not going to happen.
True. All right, let's take this call. Pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
Pleasant good morning.
Good morning to you.
I just wanted to have a few pointers in, as I am someone who was abused.
Wow.
From a young girl, probably the age of 13. I'm 35 right now. And the gentleman before this caller spoke about alcohol being one of the number one problems.
Yeah.
I grew up in a house where alcohol was shared a lot, and we had no abuse because my father, even though he drank a lot of alcohol, he also knew God, And my thing is, as long as God is the cornerstone of your home, there's a lot of things that can be broken apart. In a sense that 99.9% of the young men in our world, not only in Trinidad and the Caribbean, are fatherless. They have no father figures in their life. And if there's no one to teach you how to be a man, a proper man, then there's no way you could treat a woman with respect and the dignity that she deserves. And women are not training their ladies to become ladies. And because of the young women becoming mothers at a young age, it's like children making children. The Bible says this. It will be a time where children will make, and children are making children. And if I don't know how to train a child, because I'm a child, how can my child, when my child becomes a mother, train their child if they never had the teachings that I never had?
Right.
So it's just like a cycle of not putting God in the midst and not being responsible for our youth. If we don't have that role model, there's no way that we could do anything right. And for women who are abused, it's really an emotional torture for the rest of their life. Sometimes they have God. I do have God. I talk to him every day, and he is really that stronghold in where whenever I feel like I'm being overwhelmed by old circumstances, I run to him and call upon him, and that is how I get the relief I need to go through the next day.
Wow.
This is my input to young women. Yes, we say that we want to be loved and cherished and whatever the case may be, but as one of the callers said, if you don't love yourself, cherish yourself, take care of yourself, how could someone else do for you what you can't do for yourself? We need to put God first in all that we do, and we need to be safe out there, learning who to trust, especially with men, whether they be fathers, uncles, cousins, boyfriends, neighbors. We need to know who to trust. This is my input. Thank you very much.
That was really powerful. Thank you so much, caller.
But you know, it's not even just young women that don't know. I was an adult and still didn't know how to do the things that I needed to do for my own children.
Right.
So I needed to learn too. So it can go even as adults. I was a Christian into young adulthood. I left the church. I still didn't know how to give my children some of the things that I should have gave them.
Right.
I still need to learn. So I don't look at that as just young people either. It could be older ones too. And I think sometimes we older ones even don't take some accountability. I take a lot of accountability for the choices I made with my children as an adult.
Yeah.
Not as a teenager, not as a child, as an adult. And so I use that to say that my parenting, even as an adult, and even when I begun to know Christ, was not still the way that it should have been. Because sometimes you need that. And then when I start to get around older sisters or people that was, as she said, trusting people. But to me, everybody needs a Judas. So because if somebody that you don't even like, you could learn from them.
Right.
If it's somebody that you can't trust, you could learn from them.
Right.
So your learning comes from anywhere that God puts there. I don't believe, I always say that you pray for God to put that right person to know. God's going to put somebody there that you may not least expect, because everything you want and everybody you want there is not always the person that needs to be there to help you. Because if somebody is always agreeing and telling you what you want to hear, it's not so. So for me, I made a lot of bad judgment calls. And so there were people that had to correct me in my parenting in an adult.
Right.
So we don't do that.
Let's take this call here. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
And good morning, Sister Laverne.
Good morning, my darling.
I'm calling to give you a virtual hug.
I need it. Thank you so
all
much.
that you've gone through and standing firm, thank God for Jesus.
Thank you so much for that. I needed that.
This conversation, I have never really been abused with a man, like, say, in that love thing, with your mind being taken away. But I have been abused by men that I have helped, which is my father, my children, my son, my oldest son, my brothers, my nephews. I have been abused by them. helping them. And I have realized that men, they have their own issues also. And it's not really like with you, but you're in the midst, you are there it's like you bear the brunt of the burden. And as Sister Laverne says, when her husband was, she was trying to detox him and all of that, and what she went through, and being firm, and the abuse that you have to take, even with that, because you're putting your whole heart and soul into that because of love. You're trying to help the person, and they would abuse you in that because of what they are going through, their own abuse that they're dealing with, and therefore you are the one that's getting it because you're the closest to them, And I have realized that no matter what you do with someone, you can feed them, you can clothe them. The most that you can do for them is really bring them to Christ.
Amen.
Because it all stems down to the thinking. If the thinking has not been changed, the person will still be the same. And you will have the same situation. They will try for a minute to stop, but it's the same thing will come if the word of God, and I stress on this all the time.
Yeah.
If the word of God is not working in your mind to transform you are going to stay the same.
That's right.
You can sit down and you can read this Bible and you intellectually understand it, but if you don't have the right spirit within you,
that's right,
to really help you to apply it, you will remain the same. And this is what I found out, in my life, dealing with abuse from men. I have been thrown down a staircase. I had bruises on my arms and all that, dealing with mental issues from men and their abuse. So I know it's tough, but what I can say today for fathers, love your daughters. It is very important for that woman to have that type of love, because if you don't, you will go looking for it and you'll get abused in the interim. This love that I got from my father was able to give me a strength that no one can match. No one. The strength of that love. And up to today, he's gone, and that love is still there that keeps me standing strong. Thank God for Jesus.
Amen.
So fathers, I can tell, please love your daughters. I encourage all men who come around and they talk, they don't have their daughters around them, and they talk about, she calls me only because she wants something. You have it, give it to her. It is very, very important. My father had 3 children outside. 3 of them outside, besides me. And I made sure that I hooked onto them so that I can give them some of that love that they didn't get.
Right.
It is very important to have that love from a father, and men, we have to understand, women have to understand that you choose men to be with, but sometimes the demons are so strong you can't deal with them, and you have to really get to know yourself as a young person. And I tell young women all the time these days, know yourself so you can choose who you want to be with, because some of the battles you cannot fight. You cannot fight them. They're too strong for you. Men have their problem, and we have our problems too. We have mothers who have been abused and is not able to tell their daughters the right things, to lead them the right way so that they can make the right choices also. But no matter what choice, you can choose the best choice ever. We all have situations that we have to deal with. So you need to be strong as a woman to deal with your man. You have to be strong in order to deal with your man and your children. Because you have to love you have to love yourself. And when you can love yourself, then you're strong enough to deal with everything else that's around you. So it's very important also for women to learn to love themselves. The last point, when my mother died, I was looking for a mother. And I was abused by a lot of people's mothers because I was looking for a mother. And I would tell things like, put into confidence. Some people tell them things in confidence, they'll throw it back in my face. And I was going through this looking for a mother. And you know what? I realized one day I came to the realization, why am I looking for a mother? And I have children. So I am a mother, and that's what we have to do. We have to, when we're looking for something, we have to look within and find it in ourselves first
Yep.
before we
Yep.
go
Yep.
looking for it. Because right in
Yep.
there, the love that you're looking for is in there. You have to love you. You're looking for love outside. No, you have to love you first. You want to be you have to say, okay, I want to be a good employee. You are an employee, make yourself good. Whatever you want to be, you make yourself good and make yourself loved. And don't look outside, it's right within. And thank God for Jesus that I was, the strength and also what Jesus does for me. Being in the kingdom, it gives me a certain esteem, because I'm living kingdom life. It gives you an esteem, that no one will come around and do all these things to you. We as Christian folks need to be victorious folks. We need to be victorious folks. And you don't let people come and make you feel that you're less than what you are. We are under Jesus Christ, who is a great king.
Right.
We need to be strong and victorious in this, and we need to walk like brave soldiers. And we need to walk with our heads up high and hold our shoulders square and walk. Be strong. I can tell them with women, be strong. Look, be strong. Don't let my son tell me sometimes, he tells me things like, I am not a good mother. No matter, I tell him, I say, no matter what you say to me, I know that I have gone above and beyond the call of duty. So don't let anyone make you feel that you are less than who you are. Once you're in your mind, you're conscious of what you have done and what is good, and you have tried your best, that no one make you feel less than who you are.
Lovely.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, caller.
Good morning. Love to you. Hugs and kisses with Sister Laverne. Bye.
All right. Wow, a lot coming out, and another question here on YouTube. A question: how did you and your husband met? And we know you said he was treating you good before you got married, but the question is, how did you met, and were there any signs of abuse before you got married? As you're looking back at it, were there any signs?
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yes. And I still chose to marry him. But I met him, I was put out of the house when I was probably about 17, 18. So I used to hang out on the streets with people, like I hung out on the street with all the guys. I lived in an area that they called it like it was kind of an area where all the guys that sell drugs or all the guys hung out.
Yeah.
And so I used to hang out there with the girls and the guys. And so I met him in that type of environment.
Right.
And yes, he was very controlling and a bit abusive before we got married. Yes.
Wow. I'm getting another call here. Let's take this one. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
Morning. I'm doing okay. Well, my contribution is somewhat different. Hello?
Yeah, and you?
Okay. It's somewhat different to what everyone is saying. For me, my experience was that I observed a lot of abuse.
Right.
Growing up, physical abuse and whatever. And in my mind, from a very young age, I made up my mind that, this wasn't going to happen to me.
Right.
I'm not, this type of abuse, I wouldn't tolerate this type of abuse, when I grew up and whatever. Because of that, I didn't realize it at the time, that I became an abusive person because of that. So, even though growing up without a father, you didn't know how to treat a man or how to. So, sometimes somebody good may come along, and because of what you experience, you treat this person a type of way. From the first sign of this person, you think that this person trying to control you, trying to tell you what to do, and that may not be the case, So it took me a long while to realize that it was a defense mechanism, to put it that way. It was kind of a defense mechanism. I'm telling myself, and nobody's going to hit me, nobody's going to beat me, nobody's going to tell me what to do, nobody's going to do this, nobody's going to do that. And sometimes it's a real struggle, but thank God for the Lord, that I come to the realization that I kind of was like repeating that very sad cycle, I was repeating doing the exact same thing, that I saw doing the exact same thing, and sometimes you may not, somebody want to say something to you, you want to fight, you want to lash out, or your words, you're very abusive in your words. And I'm still struggling with it, but thank God for Jesus, I try to, let my words be what he expects me to be, my actions and stuff like that. So, even we as women, we like to dwell on the men, the men being abusive, but we ourselves women could be abusive as well,
right.
And that's my contribution.
Wow, thank you so much, caller. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And she's absolutely right, because that was me. So when I did become strong, I went too far to the other side. So you create that in your own children, like so you say, make sure no man does this to you, make sure no man does that to you. So you just go to, and then that creates something in your children. And she's right. A lot of us sometimes don't take accountability in every relationship, in every one of my relationships, that whether it was verbally or whatever, there is 10% that I have to take accountability for.
Right.
Because you see something, but you choose to stay there.
Right.
And she's absolutely right. We do. So, some of the women we see, I saw. So when someone says, well, you left so-and-so, did you not know? Yeah, I knew, but I kept going back, kept going back, but I knew. So you have to take some of that accountability. Sometimes we do.
Wow. Well, this has been a really great session. I mean, a lot came out from this. Not just you sharing your story, which was really great, and everyone was totally correct when they say you are a strong woman. And a lot of the callers, they shared some really great stuff, personal experiences as well. And you guys are pretty strong women. Just continue fighting, keep your head up, and you will get there. Allow the Lord to guide you, as one of the callers said. When God is the center of your life and your relationship, things will go according to plan. Let him lead it. And so a lot of great stuff came out here this morning. And I just want to say I appreciate you, Sister Laverne, and all those that call in to contribute in some way or the other. All those that put their comments on the chat. Really great stuff was coming out on the chat as well. Those who sent in their questions, thank you so much, because we are all in the effort to change the way things are, to change the cycle. We can't be stuck in this cycle, all right? We have to change, and we have to start with coming out and speaking out, all right? Just wanted to touch on one thing that you said that I thought was really powerful. You said you found your healing, emotional healing, your physical healing, whatever. You found your healing by letting it out. And that is really powerful, guys. Those of you out there, sometimes you just need to find the right person to let it out to speak to. Just talk about it. Just talk about it. All right. Let's take this call. This will be our final call here for the morning, and we'll try to wrap up. All right. Let's take this one. A pleasant good morning. You're live on Label with Leo. How are you doing this morning?
Hi. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, I just want to contribute to the discussion this morning, right?
Right, yeah.
We have so much myth concerning women and even men who are abused, right? Especially for women, we would say, well, women who stay in battered homes, they really enjoy being beaten, they really enjoy the abuse. Or battered women, they aren't really hurt that badly. Right? Beatings and other abuses just happen. They aren't a regular occurrence. So these are just some of the myths that people believe about women that are being abused.
Right.
But we have to remember that abuse is a cycle, right? And it really eats away from you emotionally. And when you're emotionally damaged, it's a lot of guilt trip. Women, they tend to blame themselves. They think that they are responsible for the abuse. And, we have this issue, I should say, in the church where men supposed to have the authority over women, right? And sometimes that could go to the extreme in the sense that men think that, they have the final say. They can do and treat their wives as how they please, right? And that is not true, right? And I also want to add as well that in the church, you know, sometimes you will have persons coming to you and saying, well, you know, I'm going through this. And as Lamini said, you know, people will throw it back to your face, and that's something that's really, really discouraging. You know, so how I see it, and even in the social work world as well, we have systems in place. The church is also a system, right? And it should be a place where people should feel safe, right? In counseling, the counselor will create a safe environment where the client will open up. So it's the same thing with the church. We have to start creating a safe environment and even guide people to resources as to where they can seek help, right? If you know you can't help somebody, then don't even bother to try. You understand? Direct them to someone who have the ability to help them, right?
Right.
So that's just my contribution this morning. And, you know, Sister Laverne's story always amazes me every time. She's truly, truly a strong woman, because people who are going through what she would have went through, some of them not even alive today. They're not even alive to tell their own story, you know. So I'm really thankful for all the contribution this morning, and even her being brave and bold to share her story. Right, so everyone have a good day.
Thank you so much, caller. Thank you so much. All right. Wow, we got some really great stuff coming in. Really great contribution. And, you know, we just want to thank God for every single one of you who contributed, especially our special guest here, Laverne Davies. You know, always a pleasure listening to you. Always a pleasure, you know, chatting with you about your personal experiences. You know, that's something that is difficult for a lot of people to do, and you do it and you help people with it. You create a better environment by showing them what to do and what not to do and how to cope with, and that is so amazing. May God continue to bless you in your ministry. All right. Do you have any final thoughts, any final words to share before we leave here today?
Just remember that you can change them. They have to want to be changed. You just have to take care of yourself, and that's key. You got to seek help for yourself. If a person wants to be changed, they will. You could take a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
True.
And so you have to they want to change, but make sure you're taking care of yourself. Also, remember that everybody doesn't have the courage to speak out. So I choose to be the voice. So not everybody does. So somebody needs to hold somebody's hand.
Lovely.
I believe that.
Lovely.
The journey is not easy, and we're all not the same. God didn't make us all the same.
Lovely, lovely. You know, and that's where it starts. It starts with one person speaking out, and others will truly and surely follow. Thank you so much, Laverne Davies, all the way from the UK. We love you. We love you. And we truly appreciate your story and you know, listening to those things. You're truly an amazing woman. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And may God bless you.
Please thank your wife for me, please.
Yes. Trust me. She's doing an excellent job right here.
Yes,
Yes.
All right, darling. You're welcome, my sweetheart. Love you guys.
Love you.
All right. Have a wonderful day.
Not night, afternoon.
Afternoon to you. All right. Take care. Have a great day. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. This is what we try to do. We try to bring information from folks that are experienced and would have studied the topic, and from those who would have been a part of the situation themselves. All right. You know, we just want to encourage you to like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel, because we have some more coming up tomorrow. Lord willing, we have some more things to deal with, so you don't want to miss it. Be a part of it, contribute to it, send in your questions, make your comments. You might just help change a life and you just don't know it. People struggle, people suffer from violence, from this abuse every single day, and we have to work to making this world a better place. All right, guys. Well, we are way past our time, and we want to thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you enjoyed this session. That's what we try to do here on LABL, and you have been making that possible as well. You are supporting us, you are standing with us, you are working along with LABL to change the world and to drench the world in positivity, because we're all about helping people live better lives, and we're going to do what it takes, cover all the areas in life that we need to cover to be able to achieve that. All right, well, we're going on, and we're going to be, let's close with a song. Let's close with a song. And we have a prayer request. What's that? All right, so I'm seeing we have a prayer request here. Let's see what we got here. Oh, yesterday Cocoa Puff Combs requested a prayer for a co-worker's husband, and she sadly said that he passed away, and we want to pray for the family who are dealing with that grief at this point in time. Let's pray on behalf of that family. Father in heaven, we come to you thanking you so much for your goodness. Father, we can't stop saying how much we appreciate you making this available, this avenue available to come to you in prayer. For we truly believe that prayer is one of the most powerful things that we can ever have, that we can ever use. And we want to pray for Cocoa Puff Combs' ex-co-worker's husband, his family, her ex-co-worker. We ask for strength for them. We ask for comfort for them at this time. It is never ever easy losing a loved one, and some people are not able to cope with it well, but we ask that you please look after them, be with them, strengthen them, and help them to be able to make it through and to see that they need to now be an inspiration and an encouragement and a support to others. May they learn from it, and may you continue to put the right people in their path at this time as they are dealing with this grief, to help them, to stabilize them, and to strengthen them at this point. Father, we ask that you have mercy on them. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. Guys, let's close with this song. I know I want to sing a song because your boy Mateo is in the house. So let me see if I can sing a song to get him to strike up some notes here. He's looking like he's still a little bit in the sleepy zone. All right, but let me see if we can wake up Mateo here with a song. But we want to thank you so much. Continue to share the videos far and wide. Let people know that things need to change. So share the video and encourage people to jump on the show so that they can be a part of what we have right here. All right, so we're going to be closing with a song. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, Lord willing, we will be back bringing some more inspirational stuff and dealing with great topics as we continue to look at protecting our women and our men. Let's end violence, not just against women, but against men as well. Let's end it, and it starts with us. All right, let's sing this song. I hope Mateo will jump up. We sang it already, but that's one of his favorite songs. Let's sing this song as we close. All right. Oh Lord, you are my God. Come on, Theo. And I will ever praise you. Well, oh Lord, you are my. Just want to say thanks to Akima. And I will ever praise you. Well, I will seek you. She's on the technical side of things. Well, and I will learn to walk in your ways and step back. Come on. Lead me, well, I will follow you all of my days. Oh, oh Lord, I'm your boy Leon Lewis. Oh yeah, and I will have. See you next time. Come on. Well, oh Lord, you are my God. Oh, and I will ever praise. Oh Lord, and I will seek you in the morning, and I will learn to walk in your ways, and step by step you lead me. Lord, I will follow you all of my. Oh Lord, well, I will follow you all of my days. Well, I will follow you all of my days, and step by step you lead me, and I will follow you all of my days.